Folks, SeKo Starcraft here, bringing you a TVT from the Gold Leagues. We got Omniscient against Morre. This was a super fun game. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because it's a little bit longer. TVT seems, well, not just T. I've been playing more Terran myself, but playing against Terran seems to be the very common thing to be happening these days. But that's just neither here nor there. Reason, even though when I look at the ladder, there seems to be a pretty good diversity. Maybe I'm just playing at the time and there's more Terrans playing. Anywho, still sticking with Mech for the most part when I'm playing any of these strategies. I just find it more fun in general than Bio. That's just me. So we'll see where this goes. Got my gas before racks over here. On this side, my opponent is doing something rather unorthodox. He's going to try for a middle of the road 14. It was going to be like a 14-14 racks, but I scout it. He cancels it. And I was going to say that something all players should do, if you scout something like that, it's nice to go scout the map, but come back again and check to make sure it's actually built. So I came into his base, I saw a gas, I saw another racks on the way. I thought maybe it was going to be like a mass Reaper all-in, because I didn't scout for this other racks again. Problem with that is that he cancelled it, so I'm preparing extra hard for a strategy that is just him going to come back and likely macro up. 3 racks on the way, so he's pretty far behind right now, units-wise. He's going to go a couple of workers ahead because he hasn't stopped to build an orbital. But I have a racks down, going to fill up a bunker on the high ground. And I'm also hiding an SCV that I scouted with down here because with pressure builds that I expect is still coming, look how perfectly positioned he is in the middle there. A lot of the times you see that you should go and hide an expansion. I do come and scout again, see no racks, and pretty much decide at that point that yes, he's just falling back into a normal macro game. For me here, I'm going with what I generally was going to do anyways, which is tech up first on his side. I go for a scan, see the triple racks of Marines, and I do see the Marines come out, right? So I feel pretty safe against this. He's not mining his gas right now. So the rush he was going to do essentially gets cancelled. Doesn't bother me none. I am going to hide this command center now. I probably could have thrown one down over here first and made it seem more reasonable. But if you pushed with a bunch of Marines, I wanted to be somewhat ready. And at the same time, I will be going for a Banshee play. These are just the normal reactions I do when I think I'm getting cheese. Is get out Banshee, because a lot of times they can't afford detection. And then if you can hide a base, you should, because a lot of times they can't afford to scout the entire map while pressuring you. He is getting down his command center, not too far behind mine, so he's not in a terrible, terrible spot. And getting out his add-ons. And I'm actually very impressed with his ability to very simply move back into a fairly normal game, whereas me, I'm still worried about the pressure, so I'm getting a cloaked Banshee. The Widow Mine I did have on the ramp, but some players are clever enough to expect Widow Mine, so they'll send one Marine forward and trigger your Widow Mine. So I put it up here next to the bunker because you want to get all of your Marines nice and stacked up to run at the bunker, and one shot will do a lot more damage in that way. Hidden base about to finish up. Units-wise, he's going to be ahead only by a couple of workers. I'm staying fairly good at continuing to make workers. And my Banshee's going to move out now. Supply depot, particularly in TVT, early game drops are very popular. Build supply depots in ways to give you more vision of the map, just because you don't want to get caught off guard by something like that. See, I'm super, super defensive right now, whereas on his side, pretty straightforward macroing up. Stim on the way, even has a missile turret out for defense. So we see that my Banshee's really not going to get like any work in. And in fact, this map, I hate this map. I keep forgetting that there's a wall on this side that stops you from retreating. And even his unstimmed Marines, going to get right on top of this because I tried to run away, ran right into that wall. I mean, it's good. In a lot of ways, you want that wall there. It means you can't get as screwed over by oracles and dropships hiding in a corner, but it pretty screwed me over on that one. He's got a lot of units out. He's ahead by a good chunk of supply. Back at home, I do have a tank ready, Widow Mines. My other command center is finished now. Building gas over here because I'm doing mech. Queue up a bunch of workers because why not? I've got money to spend. I'm going to even get another command center. So because I've decided that he is just playing a super, super normal game, I've got to try to be greedier than him. And keep working on getting out a better economy. As we can see, I'm starting to take a little bit of a lead now, and getting down this fast third CC should help me out a lot. With a tank in position, Vision and Widow Mines. This is a little bit vulnerable still. You could say that he could, drop a bunch of Marines and catch me off guard. Um, so I guess I am a little bit vulnerable to that right now. But I'm about to move into my reactors to be able to get out my other units. He's not even started his starport yet, so I'm in a pretty good spot. His upgrades, though, already almost finished +1. Quite nice. Widow Mines, getting them out into a good position. I love going into extra Widow Mines just for the extra vision you get in a TVT. I'm going to speed it up again because I forgot that we just kind of stood around for a while. Well, he totally powers up a huge friggin' army. And for me, it's kind of important if you hide a base that you should look to expand fairly soon. It's just too obvious if you don't have a command center down, or at least one making if he scans you, that you've hidden something. So it's nice to be able to set that up. I send in Marines for a scout, see the size of his army. I'm going to put them in the paths I expect him to take, so my vision is really good. He could sneak around the top, but it's not as likely. Most people will push to the watchtower to control that, and I control vision on all the major paths I need to. Gas taken on from that side. Triple orbital finished up. Armory's delayed. I like taking a delayed upgrade approach just so I can get out more units. In the lower leagues, it's so often that you get pressured that for me, delaying the upgrades, even though I can afford them now, that's just me being a lazy, noobish guy, is worth it in my mind. So he's up by a lot of supply. Oh, big stim. Try to get that Widow Mine in time. That's a lot of damage to that army for not even killing it. And I can see it right now. I've got full vision of this. He can scan it eventually when he gets the energy. Which, just the threat of that Widow Mine, right? Now that he ran into one Widow Mine, he's got to worry the entire time if he's going to run into more Widow Mines. Unfortunately for me, I haven't done that. But imagine if I staggered Widow Mines across the map. He'd be stopping every single time, wondering if he's going to run into more damage. Because look at this army right now. It's already so far behind because of that. Blue Flame is on the way. I do generally invest in high-sec auto-tracking because I'm playing a mech style where I have to go up against a lot of drops a lot of the time. Having that extra vision important. I think that was my scan. I don't know. Might have been his. Hard to say. Now with a couple of tanks, you can actually siege the low ground here. The missile turrets with extra range will help me deny the medevacs from getting vision. I have 3 Ravens out. Blue Flame about to finish up on a pile of Hellbats. And a lot of tanks in good position here to be able to do a good defense. Even more missile turrets. Because very cleverly, you'll see a lot of Terran players also try to go for drops at the same time when they're going for these kind of attacks. This guy, Morre was pretty slick here. He actually manages to dodge the Seeker missiles very well. Gets out of range of that one so barely. That one must have been so close. And the pro splits too. Very impressed. That cost me a lot of energy, and I got really no damage out of it. Rally more units to the front. More Hellbats, lots of Ravens. 5 factories, but I need to produce more. I have factories that are standing still. I have the supply, because I'm too worried about this attack coming in, so I'm not focusing enough on my macro. Instead, I've got another base being made down here. So I'm in an amazing spot if I can hold off this attack. He's got a big supply lead on me. Upgrade advantage, he's got 1-1 bio against essentially soon to be +1 mech. Looks like he'll finish up in just a second. Just finishes up now. But he mowed through my Hellbats so fast there. I'm going to pause for a second actually. Hellbats are great against bio if they're on top of the bio. The problem for me is I lost so many of my Hellbats right away. That's why you see a lot of pro players will drop Hellbats on bio, because that way their splash is way more effective. Still, siege tanks in position. One of my own Seeker missiles, I blew up my own stuff. So I took a lot of heat on that one. But Hellbats +1 are moving in here. Hellbats are pretty good against pretty much everything. Seeker missile takes out one of the tanks. Surprising that Widow Mine actually ranged that one out there. So he's going to have to fall back now. He's down a lot in supply. I have killer production, double starport, making Vikings and Ravens. I have more command centers. And right now, what I'm decided I'm going to do is go for nukes. And the reason I'm doing that is I have all the scouts on for his 3rd bases. He hasn't taken it. I moved up to 4 bases. So I'm building a whole bunch of barracks and a ghost academy because I'm going to go for some fun right now. A little bit of a misrally here from him, unfortunately. Either that or he was scouting, I suppose. It could have been either. Loses a few units for free. But now, just a normal production. Lots of Hellbats coming out. Because I've got the minerals to spend. Ravens. +2 attack on the way. And even another command center finished up over here. So I'm in a really good spot. I'm actually very happy. And that's why I'm going for mass nuke play. 3 Ghost Academies on the way. More command centers. More gas. More SCVs. Up at about 68 workers right now. To my opponent that's about to catch up with me. I'm pretty much done making workers, I'm pretty sure, for the game. Usually you get somewhere around 70 as a Terran if you're not under too much pressure or trading a lot. I'm okay with that, because if you're playing Bio, you need to remax, you need to spend a lot of money. If you can play pretty cost effectively as Mech, I don't think you need to get up into the 70s or 80 workers as a Terran player. Particularly with all the orbitals you can drop from mules. So, lots of nukes on the way. He's got up a pretty good army again. He's not ahead in supply. His upgrades are pretty decent. 2-2, 3-3, halfway done. +2 attack for his Mech, where I'm only, just about to finish up +2. I got +1 attack for my ghosts, just as a bit of a cheeky bugger. I believe I transferred, yeah, you guys didn't see it, but I transferred a bunch of workers from my main, and it's very risky, because sometimes that'll path them along to where you're hiding your base. I don't know if Morre ever watched the replay of this and saw just kind of where he was at in this game, but still. Ghosts now are on the way. 3 nukes are finished. Cloak is done. Scan, see the position of the army. You gotta be very careful to make sure your ghosts don't accidentally attack something, otherwise the whole jig is up. I'm gonna go for a triple simultaneous nukage. Now, Morre was at least clever enough to spot 1 nuke, but not the other ones. "54 total workers killed." Nice. And he did pick off the ghosts at the cost of a whole bunch of scans, though, as well. I mean, he's got, I think, 4 orbitals or something like that. Ghost still over here. 10 kills on that ghost. Not bad. But now it's time to push out. I'm essentially maxed. I have air superiority, pretty good mech upgrades, lots of tanks, and ravens as well. Scan the front, see no army in position. Now's the time for me to go and capitalize. And he hasn't been remaking any of his workers right now. So he's kind of all in at this point. Scan, shows his army positioning. He doesn't know where my army is right now. He's scanning, I think, the front to look what's going on, but he still doesn't see any bases. But here's my army now. Point defense drones going down in the front. Vikings overhead to protect against drops. Hellbats moving to the front lines. And a lot of +2 attack tanks. Actually, these are 2-1 now. Yeah. His bio was 3-3, so it's solid. Looks like he does want to pick up and go for a bit of a drop. I scan and see what's going on at the same time. I'm going to sneak in another ghost to go for another nuke. And this is going to prompt him to push. He is all in now. Pulls all the SCVs. Nuking on top of the army. Time to go. Both of his medevacs go down super fast. Hellbats getting on top of everything. Threw down some auto turrets to soak up a bit of damage. And he leaves the game. Nukes behind that. I lost like 10 supply in that fight. Oh man. That was such a fun game. I don't do this enough where you're up by enough and you just go for the silliness. But I had a blast. SeKo Starcraft, thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk with you later.